Welcome back to Life in Review. I'm Josefa Salinas, your host. Well, if you don't know, you should know Artemis Fowl. Oh, ask your kids, they'll know. Ask your teenagers, they'll definitely know. It's a major motion picture out from Disney, and I have the author with us on the phone this morning with the Owen Colfer. It is so good to have you here.
That was a great introduction. I think we should quit now because it won't get any better.
Oh, it's going to get better, trust
Really
me.
nice lead
I
in.
absolutely love this book, and let me tell you why. There was a 12-year-old, well, there is a 12-year-old in my life who was having a very hard time finding books of interest. She's just one of those difficult tweens that just can't find any books that interest her. And when I gave her Artemis Fowl, she read the thing from front to back. Loved it, loved it, loved it. So thank you. Let's talk about this book and how the heck you came up with this idea in the first place.
Well, the character, the central character. First of all, that is precisely the reason that I love writing for young people. Is stories like that where you manage to hook someone, and you gave that girl a gift that she'll have for the rest of her life by making her a reader. So it's so heartwarming to hear that, and that still happens, and people still care about it so much. So that's amazing. But secondly, where did Artemis come from? He's a 12-year-old criminal mastermind, and he's based on my brother. Don't tell anyone.
Oh, jeez.
My brother Donal, who was quite mischievous in his youth. He was a rogue, shall we say, but he's put all that behind him now as he's getting married this summer. So he's a retired rogue. But for many years, he could do whatever he liked, and because he was so charming, he got away with it. And I saw a photograph of him when he was 12, and he was wearing this full suit, a dark suit, because he was making his first Holy Communion. But the twinkle in his eye made you think that as soon as that photo was finished, he was going to cause trouble somewhere. And I thought to myself, he looks like a James Bond villain, but he's only 12. And then I realized that is a great character, 12-year-old Bond villain. And so Artemis Fowl was born, and I combined him with the fairy world, and that's where the first adventure came in. So it's my brother Donal. I'm sure I must owe him some royalties by now.
Okay, well, let's talk about the incorporation of a 12-year-old boy and fairies. You wouldn't think that the two would go together,
Yeah.
but they do very nicely.
I think 12-year-olds, from 10 to 12, is a magical age because you're just on the edge of believing in magic. Like, you're still there. You're kind of out of it, but if something happened, you would be totally back in. Like, if one of your best friends said, I saw a unicorn, you'd be like, oh my God, I knew it. Unicorns do exist. But at the same time, you're quite smart. One of the best examples I heard of this recently was a bunch of kids. And these kids were all 10, 11, 12, and they were camping in the woods with their parents. And they decided that they were going to look for fairies in the woods with their cell phone torches. So I love the idea of the juxtaposition of the modern technology of the cell phone with the mystical idea that fairies exist. Now, it was probably a squirrel that made the noise, but these young people were convinced it was the fairies because the membrane between fantasy and reality at that age is so thin that it's very easy for them to poke through it. And Artemis is like that. He knows that he shouldn't believe in fairies because he's so smart, but then he says, what if? And so he sets out to use his intellect to kidnap a leprechaun for a crock of gold, and that's where things start to go wrong.
We've talked about fairies and magical things and how a leprechaun has intertwined into the Artemis Fowl story. So why is it, do you think, that even adults love leprechauns? I mean, every March when it is St. Patrick's Day, we're all parading around and telling stories of leprechauns and making up stories of leprechauns. What is it about the leprechaun that carries with us right into adulthood?
I think the leprechaun is like a manifestation of the trickster character that we all love. And we have people like Loki in Scandinavian culture. In Irish culture, we have the leprechaun. And it's like the charming rogue that always outsmarts us. And it's also, as adults, it's our excuse to believe in magic, if only for just one day a year, because we all collectively buy into it. And so for that day in the year, the leprechaun almost becomes a real entity in our society. And I wanted to present a new version of the leprechaun in these books, where the leprechaun actually becomes like an acronym for LEP, recon, which is Lower Elements Police Reconnaissance Division. So the leprechaun are not the charming diddly creatures of old. They're actually highly motivated, highly trained, and with a very advanced equipment fairy police force. So when Artemis captures one of them, he's not capturing a harmless little creature. He's actually capturing a highly trained police officer, and all her friends want her back.
And this is all coming up in the movie Artemis Fowl. Disney has put this incredible movie out. I'm telling you, it's going to be such a massive hit. Yeah. Now, Owen, you have to tell me, is there more coming? Are we going to see more Artemis Fowls? Because you have 7 books in the collection altogether, correct?
We have actually 8 books and 2 novellas. So following modern movie patterns, that could actually be about 40 movies. I think we could just make each chapter into a movie, and it's endless. But we won't know. We will know after the first movie. If that's successful and if people like it, then we will know very quickly. And then I'm sure we will hear in the next few months if there's going to be another movie or not. At the moment, I'm really just concentrating on the almost incredible fact that there is a Disney movie, which is one of only 200 movies. With the Artemis Fowl name on it. It's a great achievement for me and my family, and we're all really very proud.
How did it make you feel when they said, "Hey, Owen, how about we make a movie out of that book?"
My first instinct, and I think it's my personality, is I would like to say, well, that's great, but don't tell anybody, because that's a lot of pressure. So let's just do it and not tell anybody. And they're like, that's not really possible when you're making a movie. You need to tell as many people as you can. So it's very alien to me to be out trying to promote something. I know you have to do it, but books are such a private affair. You write them in a little room, and then the people read them, and they visualize it in their own heads. It's like a solo effort. And then movies are a communal effort. So it's the opposite form of entertainment. But at the same time, I'm a child of movies. I grew up watching Disney movies, especially I love the cartoons of the 70s. I suppose Robin Hood would be my favorite. So it's just a huge thrill. And I just, as my son would say, I've got to get over myself and get out there and give this movie the biggest push I can, which is what I'm doing.
Absolutely. Now, I got to ask you one question before you get out of here, because I know a lot of people want to talk to you because the Disney movie Artemis Fowl is here. Now, when you're writing these books, Owen, I know you say that it's based basically on your brother, but I have to believe there's a little bit of Owen in here somewhere.
That is true. And I remember, I didn't realize this, but there's a character in the books whose name is Foley, and he works on a computer all the time and is always passing sarcastic remarks. And I remember my wife read the character, and she said, "Oh, I know who you are." And I said, "Who?" And she said, "You're this Foley character who sits at a computer all day and thinks he's hilarious. That's obviously you." And so I was quite shocked, but it's probably true. But my reply now is, well, actually, Artemis's father is the father figure, and that's me. So I'm currently being played by Colin Farrell. So that's not too bad. So I will accept that.
That's a pretty good thing to accept there. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much.
I know.
Yeah, it's exciting. Thank you for writing this incredible series of books. Is there a social media or a website where people can go to find out more information and keep up with Artemis Fowl?
Yeah, you can just go to my website, which is just owencolfer.com, and that will tell you all about the books and all about the movie and all about my other projects. So anything you want to know, it's all in one place.
Well, I'm actually reading the book now, and I can't wait to try to decipher the code along the bottom of the book. So definitely, this is one to pick up for your kids, because there's a code across the bottom that if they get to the end, it's a special message, right?
It's a special message. It's like a little supplementary story gives you a few insights on the next book. It's a little bit of fun if you like codes, which I do, or which I did as a kid. I love that kind of thing. So I reckon there might be a few more out there who are just like me.
Oh, that you definitely got one here that you're talking to. I can't wait to decipher the code. Are there any shortcuts that can help me decipher the code quicker? Because I'm on a race with a 12-year-old.
Oh my goodness! You should know by now. You can never win a race with a 12-year-old. There's no winning that race. Even when you win, you lose. So I think it's better just to slow yourself down a little bit. Let that 12-year-old win, and everyone will be happy.
She'll probably beat me anyway. We love doing these adventures together. We have so many adventures together, and deciphering the code at the bottom of the book is one. Again, it's the book Artemis Fowl. Disney has made it into a major motion picture. Owen, I believe it's going to be a tremendous success because the books are awesome. I can't wait to see what's coming next, and I wish you all the success in the world, and we will be right there watching this movie very soon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Have a beautiful day, and please come back and see us anytime.
I will. I'd love to. In person next time.
Absolutely. Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Artemis Fowl, the Disney movie, is out now, streaming. You can go ahead and watch it right there on your TV. But pick up the books. You want to get your kids reading? These are some fun books, I tell you. Stick around. We're talking about the California School Board Association. What's going to happen when your kids go back to school? What will it look like? What will the new normal be? It's all next right here.